Hi, it's the 31st of May. This is what will probably be what will be the last in this series of videos that I've been doing for people. So as you know, we've worked our way back through the short form, and now this is the last of the videos. We'll go over the first section of the short form. We did that on the previous video as well, just some detail, and then we'll make a decision about what we might do next. So, but for this series of going back through the short form in its 5 sections, that'll be the end of it. So you should know the short form by now, and hopefully we'll be able to resume classes soon in the UK, albeit probably training outside, and obviously we'll be going through short form, long form, quick fist. Those people that I've started teaching the stick to will resume that. So I'm really keen to get back and train in a group. Of course I've been doing my own training, but yeah, so let's hope it all eases up a bit soon. So we'll begin by closing down with a very good in-breath and a long, gentle out-breath. So in the closing down phase, this first few moments, it's important not to begin in the superficial mind state and just begin moving. It's important to close down from the very earliest moments. To have that intention, that very clear intention to close down. Otherwise you trap yourself in the superficial mind state that doesn't want to let go, of course. Then listen in and around the waist. The big movements, internal movements. Then listen down into the leg. Look for the stretching. Of course, if the muscles of the leg are stretching, the joints are still moving, however small. They're still changing, however small. And then listen for the foot pressure. And from the foot pressure, you can let the mind, for the longer trained people, let the mind rise back up through the changing leg to in and around the waist. Listening in and around the waist for the pressure that develops as the forces from the foot rise to the center, and as the flowing down of the upper body flows into that rising pressure from the foot. So it meets in the middle, you might say. We change to the second loosening exercise, so we're not going to spend a long time on the loosenings. So begin to pull the mind up through the body in the lifting, mind down in the releasing, aligning. Listen into the joint changes. Make sure they're accurate, sequential. Behind the joint changes, listen into the muscle state changes. And then as the body lifts and falls, we create a very big separation between the upper and the lower body. Listen into the increasing foot pressure as you settle to the ground. Listen to the waist pressure that develops. Let the upper body increase that center pressure as it flows down onto the lower body. Do the third loosening exercise. Big twisting wave through the body. Okay, listen to the foot pressure developing, center pressure. Although it has to be said, the timing of this exercise, the third loosening exercise, is faster than the others. So you have to listen deeper for a faster rate of change that cycles through the body. Because the simultaneous nature of what's happening inside the body, it's a complex exercise. And actually the timing within this one is closer to the issuing, closer to what's required for the issuing. Timing inside the body, whole thing's happening much faster, much more complex sequence of changes that happen simultaneously. And so we do the fourth one. Bend the knees, unfold spine. Fifth loosening exercise. And sit back on this one. Always try to be refining something, some small aspect of the exercise. And sit back on this one. So as you go through the exercises, if you imagine that they're not too bad, actually you probably stop yourself making more of an effort than's required. So you should listen for the things that really need to be changed. It's a question of refining, changing and refining all the way through. As long as you've trained, so it's not as if you reach a certain. The idea isn't that you reach a certain level with the exercise and then it sort of stays like that forever. because you've reached a good level, whatever that is. But you should actually continually be improving, refining, changing. And of course, as you listen to different aspects of the exercises within yourself, then different aspects become refined and changed. Slowly they become more part of you, they become semi-natural. And then you may find that something that you listened to some time back, last year, the year before, because you've made a refinement further up the spiral, if you like, you've made a refinement there, then you may have to go back and make a further refinement at something that you examined last year or the year before. And so in this ever decreasing spiral of change and refinement, it doesn't mean that you never revisit the things that you did years ago. Because in fact you may have put something very reasonable in place, but when you want to refine further levels, you'll find that what was reasonable at that time is no longer reasonable enough for the higher level refinement that you're looking for. So you may have to go back and alter something that you looked at some years ago. And it's just a way of continual refinement that's required. And so as Patrick says, if you do the form or do the loosening exercises and you think everything is smooth and wonderful, then it's a sort of self-delusion really. He says after 45, nearly 50 years of his own training, that actually feels every small mistake. And that's not a sort of to be a depressing thing. That's a bit like a musician. It's never quite done. It's actually, there's always something better that can be managed. Some nuance that is slightly out of kilter that can be put into a better order. So this is a way of really continually improving oneself. So we'll just go through the first section of the short form for the last time of these videos. Anyway. So from cross hands, sinking down and into the right foot as you turn to the left. Left palm slides over the right palm, fingertip to fingertip in the kwa. Spiral up and out, turn the left toes in. The left palm and the right palm is looking down and back, stepping with the right, pivot on the heel of the back foot, sinking, shoulder blades drop, rear hip opens, chest opens, left hand fills, still turning right as the right hand swings out, settle to the front foot, sit back through the spine, turning to the left, float down and into the back foot for the press, and then connect to the front foot to push back through the spine, let the arms stretch. They don't just move, we're looking for them to stretch. They just don't come closer to the chest, they're stretching like a spring, and then they unstretch. Settle to the front foot, sit back, turning to the left, press away from the left foot, flowing to the right foot. Keep sinking to the right foot as you step left, pivot on the heel of the back foot. Sitting a long way back and the hands are trailing the waist. Turning to the left, stepping left. Keep turning left as you step with the right. Looking to the left corner. Then turn back, right palm on the center line, left hand on the hip. Sinking to step, fist under elbow. Repulse monkey, spiral up and out. Mind down to the back foot, releasing and aligning, and then step. Place the ball of the foot, roll down the outside edge of the foot, heel goes down, center down, shoulders down. Pull up to the left, sinking to the left foot, stepping with the right, continue sinking into the right foot, heel down, center down, shoulders down, left hand fills. Spiral up and out. Stepping with the left, ball of the foot down, roll down the outside edge of the foot, flowing down and into the back foot. Right hand fills. Spiral up and out. Stepping with the right. Continue to flow down and into the back foot. Hip opens, chest opens, hand fills. I'm going to move. And then spiral up and out. Stepping with the left. Heel down, centre down, shoulders down, right hand fills. We turn on this one, the right hand falls halfway down, but it's still energized. So you don't want it to be just completely floppy. It falls halfway down but energized, and as soon as you begin to turn then, that energized arm gets activated by the turning. And then the shoulder down, lower back is opening, rear hip is opening, hands fill, wave fills the hands, over and down to the right foot, wave hands like clouds. Good in breath, turn fully to the end wall, sinking, 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 keep sinking as you step, and spiral up and out. Fully to the end wall, sinking, 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 keep sinking as you step, and then spiral up and out. Over and down to the left foot, half a step in, over and down to the right foot, half a step out, over and down to the left foot, half a step in, over and down to the right foot, half a step out. So it's 4 to the left on the short form. I think I've lost count, but we'll pretend this is the fourth one. Pivot on the heel of the left foot, heel of the right foot, ball of the right foot, turn fully to the end wall and stepping through. Move into the hands, single whip. Okay, so we just do that again. So for the wave hands like clouds, one of the things that you've got to try to not let the leg jam when you lift the other leg for the step. So if you can keep sinking into the leg, so keep sinking into the leg, and then find the moment, because the weight of the leg, you know, that if you chop a leg off and weigh it, it's quite heavy. So you've got to counteract the weight of that leg being picked off the floor by the continual sinking into the opposite leg. And if you haven't quite managed it, as I'll demonstrate here, if I take the leg off the floor now, the centre wants to shift, and the centre wants to fall towards where the connection was, where it was getting some support, but now you've taken the support away, so the centre falls towards that foot. So that's a way of being clear about whether or not there was enough central pressure from the closing of the upper and lower body, whether there was enough central pressure to manage the weight of the leg being picked off the ground. So if you find when you do pick the leg off the ground, the centre shifts a bit or wants to fall towards the foot that you've just taken off the ground, clearly the centre was still gaining some support, and you've suddenly taken it away, and so it wants to fall where it had support, suddenly it's disappeared. So look for that central pressure. We'll go again through the sinking to the right foot, turn to the left. Spiral up and out to the right, turning the left toes in, sinking to the back foot, stepping. You can pivot on the heel of the back foot to continue sinking, shoulder blades drop, hip opens, left hand fills, right hand goes out, and then settle to the front foot, sitting back through the spine. Over and down to the back foot for the press, shoulder blades dropping, rear hip opens. Settle to the front foot, push back through the spine. Remember the arms are stretching, not just moving. And then flow down and in, the arms are compressing, i.e. stretching in the opposite direction. Settle to the front foot, sit back and turn. Press away from the left foot. Flowing to the right foot. Keep sinking, 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 sinking. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Settle to the front foot, sit back, the arms are stretching. Hands are drifting to the right, step to the left. Sinking to the left foot, step with the right, sinking to the right foot. Now spiral up and out, sinking, 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 fist under elbow. Repulse monkey, smooth wave of lifting, but I begin the sinking in the right leg and then continue the sinking into the left leg. So spiral up and out. So I begin the sinking in the left leg and then continue the sinking into the right leg. Spiral up and out. Sinking to the right leg gives me the stability for the step and then sinking into the left leg. Spiral up and out. Stepping with the right, sinking into the right leg. Hip opens, chest opens, hand fills. I'll have to move. One more step, sinking to the left leg, shoulder blades drop, hip opens, chest opens, hand fills. Spiral up and out, stretching through the activated right arm, over and down to the back foot, shoulder blades drop. Bring a wave through, over and down to the right foot, I'm a bit cramped against the wall, wave hands like clouds. Over and down to the left foot, sinking, 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 make sure the centre's not shaking around when you step. Over and down to the right foot, look for that sinking pressure step. Over and down to the left foot, sinking pressure step. That you've got to cater for the weight of the leg and the connection that's pulled off the ground. So if you still looking for the connection and you pull the leg off, you get a centre shift that shouldn't really be there. Over and down to the right foot, look for the centre stability for the step. We turn on this one, pivot on the heel of the left, heel of the right, ball of the right. Arms swing through as you step through transitional single whip, moving into the single whip. Sinking, hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Okay. Maybe we'll try that in the different orientation. So with the hands crossed, sinking to the right foot. Actually, I've made a mistake here. That's the second section, isn't it? Of course. So, okay. We should go through the first section. What was I thinking of? Okay. Well, there's a little review of the second section. And now we'll do the first section. It was all completely planned. Okay. Settle to the right foot. Step out on the left. Over and down to the left foot. Pivot on the heel of the right. Settle to both feet. Smooth wave of lifting. Mind down, centre down. Shoulder blades drop, elbows drop, wrists dropping. Pressing away from the right foot. Over and down to the back foot. Sinking to the right foot as you turn to the left. Keep sinking. Sinking to the left foot as you turn to the right. Grass bird's tail, ward off. Pull back. Press. Sit back for the push. The arms should be stretching as you sit back and stretching in the opposite direction as you sit forward. Sit back and turn. Press away from the left foot. Flowing to the right foot. Over and down to the back foot. Raise hands, sinking to the back leg. Hands fill. Shoulder stroke. Stork spreads its wings. Brush knee and twist step. Play guitar. Brush knee, twist step. And I'll just take a step back. So from that second brush knee twist step, push back through the spine. So when you sink down and into the left leg, chest opens, left arm here, the armpit is opening. And then spiral up and out for the step. Step up, block, parry, punch. Small turn to the left, sit back on the centre line, move in, sit back into. here's where the second section starts. So, very good. So we'll just do that again, and I'm sorry about that. I had the second section running through my head somehow. If you want to look for the on YouTube, available to everybody on YouTube, on the Joe Tai G YouTube channel, is the first section broken down into 4 or 5 little bits. So have a look there, as I'm not going to extend this so it becomes a really long class, because I've made a bit of a boo-boo with the section that I've chosen. So we'll go quickly through the first section again, but you can capture it on the YouTube. It's there for anyone to see. Joe Tai G YouTube channel, and you can see that I put the first section up, and it's available for everybody. So, sinking into the right leg, stepping with the left, settle to the left foot, adjust the right, smooth wave of lifting. Remember the separation of upper and lower body, and then the upper body flows onto the lower body. Press away from the right foot, sinking down and in, hip opens, chest opens, hands fills, flowing to the right foot, turning left, spiral up and out, sinking to the left foot, stepping right, keep sinking, keep sinking, keep sinking. Push back through the spine, flow down and into the centre, hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Settle to the front foot, arms stretching as you sit back. Move into the centre, arms stretching as you move in. Settle to the front foot, sit back and turn. Press away from the left foot, flowing to the right foot. Raise hands, move across on the toe or ball of the foot. Sink onto the heel, but keep sinking. And spiral up and out. Shoulder stroke. Stalk spreads its wings. Brush, knee and twist step. Play guitar. Brush, knee and twist step. I'm going to take a step back here. So step up, block, parry, punch. We want this a slight wave through the arms. So a small turn to the left, then spiral up and out to the right. Stepping, minding the right heel. Pivot on the heel of the back foot, ball of the back foot, step through. And then sinking, pivot on the heel of the new back foot. Shoulder blades drop, hip opens. Small turn left, and the left hand drops under the right elbow. Forearm drops into the crook of the wrist. Sit back, stretching through the arms. Move in, stretching through the arms. Sit back and turn. And that's cross hands, from which it continues to the second section. So maybe I'll try this orientation. Settle to the right foot, stepping with the left. Pivot on the heel of the right foot. Settle to both feet. Smooth wave of lifting. Mind down, centre down, shoulders down. Small turn to the right. Pulling through the arms. Over and down to the back foot. Sinking to the right foot, stepping with the left. Pulling through the left arm. Move over the foot, sinking to the left foot, turning to the right, pulling through the right arm, sinking to the back foot, grass bird's toe, ward off, pull back, stretching through the front arm, stretching through the rear arm. Sit back and both arms stretch, move in and they compress, stretching in the opposite direction. Sit back and turn, stretching through the arms, single width. Raise hands, sinking to the back leg, and move across on the toe, sinking, spiral up and out, shoulder stroke. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Move over the foot, turning the right toes in, sinking, stalk spreads its wings, brush, knee and twist step. Flow down and into the back foot. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Play guitar. Brush, knee twist step. Sit back through the spine, open the chest, armpit, sinking to the left leg. Small turn left, spiral up and out to the right, stepping through. Difficult on the carpet to adjust the feet well. Sit a long way back. Move in, I may be off camera, I'm not sure. So we do the meditation. Just looking for a stool. Take a stool here. Okay, so if that wasn't as long on the first section as as had been planned, then just look at the clips that I've put on the Joe Tai Chi YouTube channel, and it's done in front of a mirror actually, so it's filmed from behind, but you can see what's going on in the mirror, so it may actually be easier to see what's going on. We take a good in-breath, fill the lungs. And on the out-breath, come down through the brain, closing down through the chest and trunk, melting the body, pressure in the seat as a result. Spread the awareness into the room. Then another good in-breath, fill the lungs. Awareness to the crown of the head. Bring the awareness down through the brain, closing down, going to sleep. Melting down through the chest and trunk. Pressure in the seat, awareness in the room. Spread beyond the room into the outer world. Pull the awareness back from the outer world, back into yourself. Good in-breath. And allow yourself to fall into the daydreaming mind. And we'll wake up again with a good in-breath. Come down through the brain, the closing down through the chest and trunk, melting the body, pressure in the seat, awareness in the room. Spread the awareness into the outer world. Pull away from the outer world, leaving it distant. Pull away from the room, back into yourself, leaving the room distant. And a gentle in-breath, and on the out-breath, fall into that unfathomably deep space that represents your inner world. Let go. And if we were to stay in this quietened state for some time, the thoughts would come or the dreams would come. So to deepen the state and not allow the superficial part to wake up, we concentrate into the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, and look for the tingling fullness warmth. And spread the awareness around the hands and feet. Capture the backs of the hands, the tops of the feet, the individual fingers and toes. The heat field that jumps the gaps between the fingers and toes and exists out around the hands and feet. And then take a sense of a cloud of awareness moving up through the ankles and wrists, capturing the sense of warmth and fullness as you rise up through the lower arms and legs, to the knees and elbows, up through the upper arms and legs. Smoothly, continuously looking for the warmth and fullness, rising up into the hips and shoulders. And then deliberately, simultaneously listening back into the four limbs, because the superficial mind doesn't like the simultaneous listening. So we're listening with a deeper part of ourselves that can easily simultaneously listen into the four limbs and much more. And we take something of that thick, warm, etheric field that surrounds the body, from the shoulders up through the neck, to surround the head. The head cloaked in a cloud of awareness, sensing awareness. Pull it down from the head, down through the neck, slowly down through the chest and trunk, listening for the deeper sensations inside the body, down to the base between the legs, the perineum. You can make a small increased muscle tension in and around the perineum if you choose. Then with a big effort, gathering a cloud of light from all around you and compress it down to a fist-sized cloud of light, squashed down to the base between the legs. On the out-breath, you can allow the awareness to ripple back out around you and gather from all around you. Strong effort of the mind, gentle in breath, gathering a cloud of light and squashing it, compressing it down to a fist-sized cloud at the base between the legs. One more time, the out-breath, the awareness expanding out around the body. And then the gathering in with a strong sense of gathering something, compress it down to the base. Now we form the intention to lift and begin the 8 paths. Pull the mind round to the sacrum like a stream of something continuous that's pulled round to the sacrum, rises to the spine, lower back, in and around the spine, all the way up between the shoulder blades, back of the neck, through the brain and over the head, to the crown of the head, and on the out-breath, flow down the front center line over the face, throat, chest, abdomen, pulling at the base. From there, form the intention to lift again and pull strongly round to the sacrum. Rise up the spine to the belt line, split 2 streams of light pulled up the back. With a strong effort, up onto the shoulders. The out-breath flowing down the outsides of the arms, over the forearms, backs of the hands, over the middle fingers and into the palms of the hands. Concentrate fully into the palms of the hands. Look for the warmth and fullness. From there, pulling strongly up again, simultaneously up the inside of each arm. Pull up onto the chest. The out-breath, letting go, flow down the 2 sides of the chest. Forget the breathing, flow down to the belt line. Flow around the belt line to the navel, join at the navel. Flow down the front center line to the base between the legs. Pull strongly up the central channel to the height of the solar plexus. The out-breath, letting it go, flow down the same channel to the base, spread up over the quad, down the fronts and outsides of the thighs, outsides of the knees, fronts and outsides of the shins, down to the ankle. Rise onto the tops of the feet, along the tops of the feet to the middle toes, over the middle toes and into the soles of the feet. Look for the warmth and fullness. Concentrate fully into the soles of the feet. And from there we'll lift again 2 streams of light simultaneously, up the instep, the back of the ankle, the inside backs of the calves, the crease in the back of the knee, inside backs of the thighs, rising to the base between the legs, rising on the central channel to the height of the navel. The out-breath, let it go and flow back to the base. So we do that one more time actually, the 8 paths, one more time. So a strong concentrated effort. Pull round to the sacrum. Pull up the spine. All the way through to the crown of the head. The out-breath, the flowing down the front center line. Flowing down to the base between the legs. Begin to pull strongly round to the sacrum again. Rise up the spine to the belt line and split. 2 streams up the back. The out-breath, the 2 streams of light down the outsides of the arms, The middle fingers into the palms of the hands. Concentrate fully, capture the sensations. Then pull strongly up again, up the insides of the arms with a big effort, up onto the chest. The out breath down the two sides of the chest simultaneously to the belt line, to the navel, front center line to the base. Pull strongly up again to the height of the solar plexus. Let it go, flow back to the base, spread up over the quad, down the fronts and outsides of the legs, knees, shins, tops of feet, middle toes, soles of feet, full concentration. Pull up again the instep, back of the ankle, inside backs of the legs, rising all the way up to the base between the legs. On the central channel to the height of the navel inside, the out breath of flowing back. And now we take the concentrated effort to gather the available energy at the lower body energy centers, so between the base and the height of the navel. Each in-breath, gather a cloud of light. We do it fairly quickly. And then we take the cloud of light and pull it strongly up through the body with a really big effort. Pull up to the height of the solar plexus. The out breath billowing out through the body heat field and into the arm's length distance. So we want to be out into this space to the back and sides, above and below, all around. We do that again, pull strongly up from the base and expand out into the arm's length distance. For a third time, gather at the base, pull strongly up. Expand out from the middle dantian in all directions. So we're listening more in the cloud of light than in the body. Now activate the intention within that cloud of light and we pull on every point on the sphere simultaneously and compress the sphere of light 10 centimeters in all directions, pull in. And then on the out breath, just let it ripple back out. Do that twice more. Strong concentrated effort, pull in. And the rippling back out on the out breath. We'll take that cloud of light and just let it gently compress down to in and around the middle dantian. Go deeply and quietly into the center of the light. Choose some person or a small group of people who are already connected and send the stream of light out towards that person. Just be very clear. Remember their name, remember their body. You can offer your thought, question or feeling appropriate to this high level connection soul to soul. Then with the thanks and respect for the connection made, leave the person surrounded with light and withdraw the delicate stream of intention back to yourself. And centered in the middle dantian, allow the cloud of light to expand out. And then we take the cloud of light and reduce it back down to in and around the solar plexus. Push the cloud of light up through the chest, up through the neck, up from the base of the head to the center of the head. So now centered in the upper dantian, allow the cloud of light to expand out into the arm's length distance, but clearly centered in the head. And then we allow the cloud of light to reduce back down to surround the head. Go deeply and quietly into the cloud of light centered in the head, the upper dantian, with a clear and express intention to connect to your inner guide or conscience. This is a very deep part of yourself that only wants you to develop yourself internally. That's its main interest, its only interest, apart from protecting you a little from not non-benevolent forces, you might say. So go deeply and quietly into the center of the light, centered in the head, with the express intention to gain some help for your inner development from a very high part of yourself. So the inner guide is intimately connected with you. It's probably the thing that brought you to such practices as Tai Chi. And then with a sense of humility and of course gratitude, we can close that part of the exercise and allow the cloud of light to once again expand out into the arm's length distance, still centered in the head. So it has quite a different quality now. And then we take the cloud of light once again back to surround the head. So now we're going to take the cloud of light with a strong intention from the center of the head down through the neck, down through the chest, center it on the middle dantian, solar plexus, and let it spread up into the chest. And if you feel there's too much energy left in the head, as I do at this moment actually, so we can pull down again, we can do it twice more, so pull strongly down from the head, down to the middle dantian. And even for a third time, pull strongly down to the middle dantian. And then we allow the cloud of light to expand out around the body. And for one last time, we do the 5 clouds of Ni Hua Qing. So we take the cloud of light and allow it to reduce back down to in and around the solar plexus, the cloud of light. That we then allow the cloud of light to drift up and over the lungs, where it changes to a swirling cloud of white light, suffused in and around the lungs. Excuse me. Swirling cloud of white light, it's the element metal, suffused in and around the lungs. Full concentration. And then we take the cloud of light and allow it to drift down through the body, down to the lower body, lower abdomen, kidneys. We allow it to change to a swirling cloud of blue light. It's the element water. It's a swirling cloud of blue light. We take the cloud of light up and a little right, center a little right, to surround the liver, swirling cloud of green light, forest green. Remember, not necessary to see the clouds in absolute detail, just a sense of a swirling cloud of green light suffused in and around the liver. We take the cloud of light from there and allow it to drift up and over to surround the heart. Where it changes to a swirling cloud of red light. A swirling cloud of red light with the heart pulsing within it. Take the cloud of light and allow it to drift back over to the solar plexus. It changes back to a swirling cloud of golden light. It's the element earth. Let that expand out into all directions. Out into the arm's length space that surrounds the body. And it's at this point in the harmonized state that you could do the daily dying that we touched on the other day, or other exercises you might choose to refine yourself. You might create some mantra that you've created for yourself that works on some particular aspect of yourself. But for now, we'll just allow the awareness of the tingling warmth and fullness to come back into the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. So sort of waking up the body again. Let that spread simultaneously through the whole system. Warmths, coolnesses, fullnesses, tinglings. Spread out into the heat field. Beyond the edge, just to the edge of the heat field and just beyond is where the deep emotional currents ripple. So we'll make our effort to listen just beyond for something that we can't quite hear, but we know something's there. Look for something that can't quite be seen, but again we know something's there. Sensing for something that can't quite yet be clearly sensed, but again we know something's there. So make that effort to listen a little beyond our current ability. And then with a suggestion to keep a connection to this deeper part of ourselves, we can allow the eyes to slowly open. Okay, sorry about the little faux pas of dropping into the second section when really I should have been doing the first section of the short form. As I said, on Joe Tai Chi, the YouTube channel, the first section is there, and you'll be able to capture that. This is the last in the series of videos that we're going back through the sections of the form. How and if we continue on with videos is not quite so clear to me. I'll send an email out to people. People will have to re-register, such as it is. Because I've been watching the viewing figures. You can do that, if you have a YouTube channel, and it seems early on there were quite a few people watching the videos. There's about 40 people on the circulation list, and I'm sure not everybody is using the videos. So I don't want to send them to people if they're not using them. And also, in some time, the links to these videos will just dissolve away. So if you haven't made use of them, then that was your opportunity, you might say. So you should use them now, because they won't be there forever. That's for sure. It was very specific. The intention behind these videos. I'm never intending to do online video classes or anything like that. These videos were designed to help the people who train with me. There are one or two other people who have joined since, but the main aim was to help people who train with me, to put them in a reasonable state, some help during a difficult period of time, so that when we gather again, and particularly for the younger people, it's not all forgotten and you haven't been left to drift around on your own for what is now 2 months. I fully expect that the longer people, of course, who've trained with me, some for getting on for 20 years or whatever, they didn't really need these videos, but some have been very what can I say they've said they've really enjoyed them and got something from them as well, although they weren't super deep, these classes. There's always more levels to work on, of course. They were mainly aimed at the younger people, younger in terms of training years, to keep people motivated and keep them going with something that they'd started. But so I appreciate the emails I've received. Thank you very much. And if you have questions about sections or parts of the training that we've touched on, then perhaps that could possibly form the theme of some further videos. But I'm going to have a little think about that, and I'll send an email out just saying to people like that's it, more or less. But if you want any further videos, should they occur, then you will have to let me know. So I'll sort of dissolve the video list of people that I created. About 40 people said they wanted something. I'll just let that dissolve away, and I'll only send out videos to those people who respond to the email, if they want any further videos, should they occur. Okay, thanks very much, stay well, and hopefully we'll meet very soon, either at a class, probably an outside class in a park or something, or at a seminar when we can do so. Okay, take care, thank you very much.